Today is Thursday, March the 11th. I am your host, KC Phoenix, and this is my daily thought. Where to start? Okay, let me start with this. KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and many other podcasting platforms. Whichever one's more convenient for you to listen to this podcast, feel free to go there and listen to it. Also, KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. This weekend, so far, keeping my fingers crossed, because, I don't take any days for granted, and also, I don't take any energy for granted. Depends on where my energy is at, but so far my energy is pretty good, for the most part. I plan on doing the mid-month energy readings for March this weekend. And tomorrow I will pull the signs in order, in the order that I plan to do them for. For those who may be new to it, I reach into a plastic bag that has all the signs names with a crystal in them. There's a crystal in the plastic bag with pieces of paper with the signs written on them. And then I just pull them out one by one and decide, okay, those are the ones that I will do in such and such order. Now, as for today, I just want to talk about me time, which I've talked about it I talked around it. I haven't necessarily talked about it per se. But with me time is important. And when you are having your me time, and by me time, I'm just talking about time to yourself, where it's not a thing of if you're not talking to people that you love them less. It's just that you love yourself more. You have to put yourself first, because if you don't put yourself first, who else will? And with bandwidth, because that's a word that's used all the time, is bandwidth. With people, everyone has a certain amount of bandwidth that they can squeeze things into. And when someone's bandwidth is stretched thin, they don't want it so thinly stretched that they can't fit in me time for themselves. You have to do that. With me, as you know, those who have been listening to my podcast and following, you know that I work a regular job, and also I run this podcasting channel. I run my other podcast, which I had to cut back on, and then I do other things on the side as related to business and stuff like that. However, I still have me time. I have to have that time. If someone texts me or someone calls me, I have to weigh things out and see will it affect my me time? If I'm in the middle of watching something where I don't necessarily get to, because usually I'm only watching TV, because I watch tarot card readings during the day while I work, obviously, because I have that in the background and stuff. But when it comes to not working the regular hours of my job, I'm usually doing this or eating. And eating is usually when I'm watching something. On the weekends, like this past Sunday, I took that Sunday for me, which was the first time in a while. And it always feels weird when I do that. But it's needed. Even if I have to watch 3 episodes of the originals and do that, or a little bit of Black Clover, which I did both yesterday while I was eating. I watched 2 episodes of Black Clover and I think 3 episodes of the originals. And I need that time to decompress. It helps me where I'm not constantly going because I've been so busy doing other things. You need that time. You need time to yourself. you can't always be talking to people on the phone and things of that nature, and answering text and all of this other stuff that comes with life. You have to slow down and take some time for yourself, because if you don't put yourself first, who else will? And you have to decide, you have to pick and choose. All right, when is the best time to have me time? When is the best time for me to unwind and decompress and just let my thoughts go away without interruption and stuff like that? But also, don't forget the people who, and I think here comes the thunder finally. They were saying it was going to thunder earlier, and there hasn't been thunder all day long. But now, which we don't get a lot of that here in Los Angeles. That's one reason why we stay out here, is for the weather. And quiet as it's kept, that's the number one thing that keeps people in Los Angeles, is the weather. It damn sure, and the taxes and everything else. But I digress. With deciding who you're going to talk to and what you're going to do, that's going to be up to you. And you don't want to, how can I say this? You don't want to cut off friendships with people where you could have carved out a little bit of time for them and let them know, hey, I care. You don't want to do that either. It's all about finding balance. Balance is everything. Balance is everything. And being balanced when it comes to me time, that is a major, major thing. It really, really is. So even if you take, let's say, an hour to yourself, go ahead and do that from time to time. Now, some of you might have children or whatever, and shout out to all the parents in the world, because having some me time is really difficult when you're a parent. Having some me time is difficult when you are a parent, because kids, they don't care about all that. They want their time is what they want. And it's cool. But even as parents, you have to put some time aside for you, because if you get too run down or too wound up, where you're going to explode because you weren't able to have any time to yourself, and then when you explode, that could possibly get on the kids, and then they're affected by the negative frequency and stuff, which is kind of crazy. I was about to do an episode about not dwelling in low frequency, but I changed my mind at the last minute and decided to do a me time episode. But yeah, I guess somebody needs to hear about me time today. So if you're listening to this, don't be ashamed. Take a sip of my water. I have bottles of water. Let me tell you what happened. I forgot, and I know people are like, uh-oh, he about to go off on one of his stories. Yes, I am. I forgot that I had a whole case of water in my car. A 32 pack case of water in my car. 32 bottles of water. I forgot all about it. I got in my car. Mind you, I had already been to the grocery store and I bought, I think it was 4 cases or 5 cases. I think it was 5, because they were having a sale at the grocery store. You know, I love a sale, a good sale. And it was like 5 cases for $2 a piece. I was like, oh, okay, let me hop on that. So I already got that. And then after I unloaded everything, as I was unloading, I went out to the car, my other one, and I was moving it, and I looked in the back seat, and I was like, that's water in the back seat. What? How did I forget? Yeah, that happened. So it is what it is. Such is life. But my thing is that you shouldn't feel guilty about your me time. I always tell people, and if people tell me straight up like, hey, I need some time to myself. If they're like, hey, I need some time to myself. Just like one of my friends who is very close to me. He just got back from vacation. I wasn't about to text him and call him because he's just getting back from vacation. He needs time to unwind and stuff. Like, he needs me time, whether he realizes it or not. And just like he called me last night, which it was nice to hear his voice via voicemail because I didn't pick up the phone. Because I was eating and I was watching the originals and unwinding, decompressing. So I wasn't going to pick up the phone. But just like I was having my me time at that moment, I wouldn't be upset if he was having his me time earlier that day or even that night or whatever, because you have to take things like that into consideration. You have to take people's lives into consideration. You know, the girl I call my little sister, she has 3 kids. If she can fit in some me time, she will definitely do it. And I respect that. Just like she is on the go. Because again, she's a mother of 3. I respect it. I don't expect to talk to her every single day or at certain times where she may not feel like talking. And the same thing with me. I actually had a conversation with, actually her birthday is the 14th is on Sunday, I think. Her birthday is on the 14th. And I'm pretty sure the 14th is Sunday. So it's this weekend. And I had told her that we hadn't spoken in a while because I've been doing my thing with working and everything else. And like I tell people, I've been minding my business because that's what I do best. Minding your business is an art. And I perform it well. So I've been minding my business and working. That's what I've been doing. And I haven't really been talking to a lot of people. I talk via text sometimes to people, but as for hopping on the phone and having long conversations, not so much, not like I used to. Because again, I don't, due to my other obligations, I don't have that luxury as much anymore. And because I don't have that luxury as much anymore, because so much of my time is absorbed, that time being absorbed leaves little time for me time. And me time is me time. In me time, I'm not being bothered. I don't care. People can take it how they want to take it. It is what it is. Me time is important. Don't stretch yourself thin and don't do stuff because you feel like, oh, I'm obligated to do this and everything else and blah, 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 and all of that stuff. So I've mentioned rest, but rest is different from me time. When it comes to rest and sleep and everything else, rest is one of the components of. Me time, you're decompressing is what you're doing. It's sort of like your dreams, which for those who don't know, that's why you have dreams. The reason for your dreams, which sometimes you get premonitions and things like that, people like me, but also the reason for your dreams is to decompress all of the information that you took in, because your brain throughout the day, all these hours that you're walking around, wandering around, watching this, doing that, all your brain is taking in all of this information. It's like all of this information is being put on a hard drive and being slammed into there. And your brain is like, okay, this is a whole lot of information. So we're going to have to break all this down while you're sleeping. That way you don't go crazy. And so you can take on the next day and be all right when you get hit with some more information. When you have me time, you're decompressing is what you're doing. So you're not getting wound up. So you're not overwhelmed. So you have a little bit, me time is also a form of escapism, which I talked about before. Escapism isn't always a bad thing. So it's me time is a lot of things. It's sleep, it's escapism, it's decompressing, it's rejuvenating oneself, it's quieting the thoughts, it's appreciating solitude. Me time is a plethora of things, which is why it's so important. So yeah, that's my daily thought. That's all I got. This ain't going to be a 30-minute one. I was looking at some of these daily thoughts. I was like, why in the hell are all these things being 30 minutes lately? Because that's what some of them have been. But whatever. KIRWKC.com. You know the drill. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. Mid-month energy readings tentatively booked for this weekend. I'll make the announcements of the orders of the signs tomorrow, long as we see tomorrow. And the following week, long as we see it, I'll do the April energy readings for the signs the following weekend. So yeah, that's all I have. Thank you for your support. If you like this, feel free to hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, feel free to subscribe to the podcast or to the channel. If you want to share, sharing is caring. That's what I always say. Until next time, be blessed.